Good morning, and you are right in time for our views here on Sunrise at Sea with me, Sandra Kopp, and the ladies, Sarah and Shivan. Good morning once again, ladies.
Good morning.
It's Friday. I need more energy, and it's 2 days to Valentine's.
Yes.
We're also ladies. We don't shout anyhow.
Yeah. We don't
Well, today the topic of discussion is about housewives.
Okay.
Should they be paid for housework? The stay-at-home moms. Because you get ladies work and they're not paid for this work. They're just given, what's that money kuteka? Kameza money?
sente za kameza.
Yes.
Hani teka sente za kameza tozera bila.
For food and this and that. But they're not given, like they're not paid for it. Do you think they should be paid?
Shivan, do you think they should be paid? Sandra is asking a question.
No. Paying them makes it look like they are doing a job, like they are.
But isn't it a job?
It is a job, but I feel like payment, I don't know. I mean, a housewife, you should be doing what you're doing from a point of love. If your man decided to, once in a while, it shouldn't come as a form of payment. For me, it should come as a form of appreciation, that your man is appreciating the work that you're doing. Yes, but it shouldn't come that I'm paying you for the work that you're doing. No, maybe you might want to say, babe, I appreciate the work that you do. I'm giving you this money, probably you can go shopping, or can I take you out on a cruise? But it shouldn't come off as, okay, this is your salary, end of month.
Why not?
I just feel like it's in my opinion, if a man did that to me, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't want it to come off that way because it comes off very disrespectful, in my opinion.
Now look at it from this point of view. We are saying this woman she labors. They call housework the labor of love. Like you said, it's out of love. But then you find that this woman is very, like for example, if she has relatives who need help, she does not have that financial capacity to step in because she does not go to the office. All she does is she stays home and she works. Shouldn't she get paid for this?
The man should appreciate her as a token of appreciation. That is my point. It shouldn't come off as a salary or a wage.
I agree with Shivan on this one. Housewives should not be paid. Because why should they pay you to do something that you're obligated to do? You have an obligation as a wife and as a mother. It's like saying, oh, we should now start paying our children for taking care of themselves at home, or for laying their beds, or for finishing their food, or for doing the dishes. It is an obligation. When you put a price to it, or when you start to quantify it, you now become a domestic worker.
Yeah.
And when you become a domestic worker, your husband is going to go and find him a wife. And also now let's do it this way. Should the men now start holding the women to that same standard? I am paying you for your domestic work. So if I come home and you have not cleaned up, should he hold off the wage? Should he deduct from that month the salary? Or if he comes home and he does not eat the food or does not like how you have cooked, should he ask for a refund? Because now let's not just look at it at the one side of the wife. Let's look at it at the man's side. And you'll find that if this ever came into law, you'll find like a lot of men would use this to their advantage to make some women's lives or some of their wives' lives even a lot more miserable. Because now you're putting a price tag to bearing children for him, taking care of his children, taking care of him, sleeping with him. You've put a wage to it. So if he says that, hey, in the month of January, I only got some 3 times.
You did not sign.
Hey, for 3 months. Hey, for 3 months, I did not, in the month of January, I only got 3 times. So I am chopping your salary.
And even says
because
3 times, I was only happy once.
Hey, I was only happy once, so I am slashing. I'm slashing the salary because I am not satisfied. I'm not getting my money's worth.
Exactly.
I think also women should, when we do things like this or say things like this or table things like this, we're just being detrimental to ourselves and our development. This is a thing. As a housewife, I don't think you should go down to only think of yourself as a domestic worker. I'm doing this. If you want a salary, ask him to employ you in his company. If you want a salary, ask him to teach you a skill so that you provide it for him in his company, organization, or even be his personal assistant. Like, babe, okay, I've chosen not to work. I want to sit home and be pretty, but maybe did secretarial studies. I can be your personal assistant. Put me on a salary for that. I am assisting you. But when you quantify what you are supposed to do, your obligation there's a difference between an obligation and a job.
Yep.
But now I'm thinking that even most career women, you leave the office, but when you get home, you start your second job, whereby the guy is just seated watching TV. Most guys hardly do anything at home because that's the woman's job. Yet she has been working the whole day. So now shouldn't it be 50-50? Gone are the days. I don't believe that it is a woman's job to raise children.
It should be 50-50.
It should be 50-50. It is your job as a parent to raise your child. You cannot put it on a woman. You know, when they see kids who are bad manner, they're like, their mother raised them wrong. It's never the father. But if they're good manner, they say, oh, that is so-and-so's son.
A present father.
A present father. I think that is not fair. It is just your job. You all live in that house.
Exactly.
So you should all chip in.
Absolutely. And I think women, a lot of couples get themselves in this predicament because these are conversations you don't have. They don't have before the wedding.
Yes.
Because you trivialize it and think, oh, we'll walk through it. No, but when you set a standard and draw the boundary and expect your spouse, especially you as a woman, you expect your spouse to help you out because it is necessary. I was having an argument with a few male friends of mine, and they were talking about how this one particular guy had said his wife had just given birth, but she no longer has time for him. It's been 3 months since she gave birth, and she no longer has time for him. So I'm like, okay, if you want time, how are you easing her load?
Exactly.
This is her first child, your first child, right? You're being a first-time father, she's being a first-time mother, right? So how are you easing her load? It's like, if you come home and just, you know, take the baby, cradle the baby, feed the baby, you know, bathe the baby and let her rest, she will have enough time for you at night. You will not complain. And that is where men go wrong. That is where men go wrong.
I really like the fact that you hinted on the fact that people, before or even, they wait to have these, actually they do not have these conversations.
They wait to quarrel.
They only wait to quarrel when things have gone bad and you're like, you're not helping me out. You know, my friend, let me tell you, not every man knows that they're supposed to help out a woman. People are raised differently. Men, boy, child, alike, were all raised differently. People are raised in different homes. For some men, it is unknown for them to do housework. For other men, it is normal. They can do housework, they can wash, they can clean, name it, they can do all these things. For some men, they know that they're supposed to help out their women. However, for other men, they feel like it is taking away their ego. So you also need to understand or know what you're getting yourself into. Do not expect that this man is actually going to help you if you did not have these conversations with him in the first place. But also it goes back to the women also. You have come back from work. You have both come back from work. But somehow, the man expects you to be the one to put together dinner. Walk up to him and tell him, but boss, we have both come back from work. We are tired. We are both hungry. Can we make something together? Either make something together or let him order out.
Yeah, I completely agree. And also, there's another predicament. How do you monetize this? Like what you were saying, how do you monetize this? Because even the Employment Act has a very narrow mention of domestic workers, where it states that there is no permit requirement for one to recruit a domestic servant for employment. While the Employment Act 2006 recognizes housemaids, the irony is that the Act does not recognize the category of workers known as domestic workers, because homes are considered private premises and therefore cannot be inspected by labor officers to enforce the Act. So here we see that even if you were to pay, how are you going to monetize it? How much are you going to pay her? What is her? Yes.
What is the starting salary?
Are you skilled?
See, this is the thing.
Are you skilled at your
This
job?
could work for some couples. It could work perfectly well for some couples where the husband is like, I have asked you to quit your career, stay home, and I will pay you what you are earning or what you would like to earn a month. Some husbands would gladly do this and not hold it against their wife or try to use it to control her or sabotage her or just make her life miserable. And the wives who will take this upon with no hard feelings and say, you know what? Yes, it is my job to be a housewife. It is my job to be, you know, a mother, and I'm good with that. But it is very dangerous for the good majority, and that is why there's divorce rates on the rise every other day or every other year, because people take things like this and just manipulate them and take advantage of the situation. So for me, I would advise a housewife, do not ask for that, do not monetize your value as a wife and as a mother, because you don't know how, you're not sure how your husband or your man will use it against you. You understand? And another thing, it's also very important to be more than just a wife and a housewife. If you don't want to work, then you make his business your business. At the end of the month, look at the books of accounts, because see, he could either leave you and then you're now going to start inconveniencing relatives, asking them to pay your rent, to take care of your children. Because there's some women who are just housewives and that's it, and then when they leave their husbands, you know, either leave them or pass away, they have nowhere
Nothing to their
begin
name.
with. You get nothing
Yes.
to their name, they have nothing to do. Just learn a skill, or ask him to teach you a skill, or ask him to empower you. A man who loves his wife will empower her to continue to carry the family even when he's not there.
True.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at the dangers of paying housewives for housework. And the first is forced sexist societal roles.
Yes.
Then if you are paid, then it is your duty.
Yes.
That's what, and that puts you in a certain place in society. And lack of aspirations. Some ladies will be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't need to go to school. What am I going? I just need to get married and just do that and just chill. No career, nothing.
You know what? It's so funny. I saw a meme sometime that saying for some women's long-term financial goals, or what does financial stability look like to being married? But let's not laugh. This is a serious.
And it also widens the gender gap.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it widens the gender gap. And let's look on the flip side of that coin. Advantages of paying housewives for housework. As you said, Sarah,
Yes.
it is a gesture of appreciation. You are appreciated
Yep.
in the home for all that you do.
Told
Like
ya.
we say, this is the labor of love. And financial independence as well. If you get that salary and you have that agreement
Yes.
with your other half, and every end of the month you get this, and you can do your other things. You don't keep on running to your husband. Give me money for this, give me money for that. My relative has a problem. So you can make your own financial decisions and accord respect for work done. I'm telling you, housework, we really overlook it.
It is.
But I remember when COVID hit and the lady who comes home to clean could not come for obvious reasons. Man, that work is work.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not.
You respect these ladies who come to your home and they do this every day. It is not easy. So yes, you get to respect the people who do this, and the housewife gets to be respected as well for all that she does. And of course, equality in marriage. Equality in marriage is very, very important. Like, I'm going to bring the bacon home, but you're also at home running the home. Running the home is not quite an easy thing to do. And women have had this problem the world over, and they have actually gone on strike. Some women, mothers in Germany, launched Parents Settle Their Scores with Corona campaign. They submitted a bill for running their households to their respective regions after calculating the time they spent not just on chores, but on taking care of their children while schools, preschools and nurseries were closed. This was during the COVID-19 pandemic. Their goal was protecting against unpaid domestic work and drawing attention to its impact on the professional life of women. And this is not something new. In Iceland as well, in 1975, women in Iceland went on strike from their domestic responsibilities as well as their day jobs. The strike, organized by women councils across the country after the United Nations declared 1979 as International Women's Year, saw some 25,000 women in the streets of Reykjavik alone. In the strike's aftermath, Iceland elected Europe's first female president, and the country formally outlawed gender discrimination in 1976. Iceland's gap in pay and education became among the world's smallest. So women world over have had a problem with this. Yes, Sarah, penny for your thoughts.
I have a question. Who are they protesting against? Their husbands or the government?
The government.
The government.
Why? The government is not married to them.
Because there was also this question, if you're going to be paid, who pays you? Is it your husband or is it the government? But I think I feel your drift. Like, it's misplaced. Like, you are the one who decided.
Exactly. You decided to be
a housewife.
Not even a housewife. You decided to be a career woman and also want to have children. There's responsibility that comes with it. Why do we have to carry the burden? Get yourself a domestic worker, a service provider to come and take care of these chores for you so that you can go on and do other things. The problem with us women sometimes, we want to be superwoman, Wonder Woman. We are not her.
Delegate.
We are not delegate.
Delegate.
Manager, supervisor. Get someone else to do it.
Yes.
Get your husband, and it's very important to tell him before the wedding, by the way, I will not cook every day.
Yeah.
So on days when I don't cook, I
Please.
expect you to kindly, darling, come through because I am tired as well. Okay? Delegate. You're not Wonder Woman. You're not.
But you see, even all those things that you're talking about will not be heard unless you talk about them. The issue is that we do not talk about them, and we assume that they know, but they do not know. These men do not know these things. They are oblivious to certain things, and not until you call them out and tell them, actually, you're supposed to be doing this, they will never know.
You sit on that table and you negotiate. You sit on that marital table and you negotiate and say, I understand this is how it is, but let us find a way so that we can have more time for each other.
Yeah.
You get? Do not overburden me. We now have 6 children. We don't know even how they became 6. I have to go to work. You have to go to work. You're refusing me to have somebody to assist me at home. You want me to do everything. You come home and you still want me to take care of you. No. Sit at your marital table and negotiate. I think this is why I may never get married, because men think that a woman is supposed to do everything.
To be in the kitchen.
And especially when babies come into the picture, assist.
It's a whole different story.
Assist your wife, come home and be the one to, bathe them and put them to bed. And you will tell me. But also, she will have time for you.
And you will not complain.
And you will not
complain. And it doesn't make you less of a man to help out in one or the other. It does not change the fact that you're still a man. If you woke up in the morning and you decided to make a meal for your wife, what is the worst that could happen to you?
I know, right? But
what's the big deal?
The problem comes from certain men put women in, like, the sexist societal roles, and this happens to all women. All women. Not all men do this, but all women have faced this from time to time, and it also happened to Ayesha Curry. Ayesha Curry scorched an internet troll who left a misogynistic comment on her Instagram account. The user commented, "Stay in the kitchen." Curry fired back in an epic takedown. "Which one? San Francisco, Houston, Miami, or San Diego?" She replied, referring to the various locations of her international smoke restaurant chain with Chef Michael Mina. And she is there, Ayesha Curry, with the husband, NBA player Stephen Curry. Now, this woman is a mover and shaker, and she loves cooking. I love to watch her cooking tutorials, but she's making a comment on Instagram, and somebody's telling her, go back to the kitchen. What is that? That shows you the mindset of someone. I remember there was this, actually Meghan Markle talked about this. Meghan Markle is a feminist, and she was saying when she was a little girl, there was this dishwashing advert that says, I forget the name, but it said that helping women clean pots and pans across America. That was the tagline. So she brought to this company and said that is sexist. It's not helping. That means women belong in the kitchen. So they had to change it, helping people clean pots and pans across America. But you can see, I think it's very deeply rooted, because even some men would say that it is your job.
Let me give you an example.
Paying you?
of the adverts we have for the different companies. For example, let's look at the adverts that we have here in Uganda. I might not call them out, but when they're advertising, let's say for detergent, which people do they use? Women. Let's not go very far. Let's look at the companies that we have either for washing, you're removing stains from a t-shirt, or you know a child has made themselves dirty. Which people do they use the gender? They use the women. What is that trying to imply? Are you trying to imply that it's only the women that do laundry? What is wrong if you brought a man to that advert and showed that, oh, spotless clean? Back to our roots.
Even cooking.
Exactly.
Cooking, if it's cooking oil, if it is also things like toothpaste.
Yes.
Taking care of kids, it is taken to the women. I remember there was this advert by a Blue Band, and the kid forgets the bread, and the mom goes running, she jumps off her bike, she gets on her bicycle.
Wonder Woman.
I love that advert. It was so creative, but couldn't her dad have done that?
Exactly.
Couldn't he pack the breakfast and everything? Well, I was watching, what sparked off this conversation is actually a video that I watched on TikTok, and this lady was talking about housewives wanting to get paid. So maybe you can head on down to TikTok and you can check this lady, and she says that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Yes, so you do all the cooking and everything, but when the women ask for money which they did not ask for, which they did not work for, they become gold diggers. Mm-hmm. So it's imbalanced. If the way to your heart is through your stomach and I get to cook for you and everything else, then why is it a problem when I'm asking for the money that I didn't work for?
The thing is with society is the double standards. One, and this is the thing, women, we need to start calling men out more.
Yep.
We need to start calling them out a lot more, because if they expect us to stay in the kitchen and stay at home to give birth and take care of the kids and whatnot, then honey, I expect you to be bringing home, 7 figures, 8 figures every month, because it is your responsibility. Okay, bring the money. No baby, no more. I will not keep on doing things if you're not, holding your end of the bargain. We should now start holding them, accountable to the same standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was the conversation that we had for you on Our Views 1 this morning. Should housewives be paid for their housework? But before we head on to our next conversation, I'd love you to watch this video.